Hi YouTube, this is DarkCloud633, and today we're taking a look at another Star Wars The Force Awakens 6-inch Black Series figure. Today we're going to take a look at the First Order Flametrooper that was released in the same wave as the previously reviewed Jango Fett. This figure is actually really cool, and while it is just a somewhat generic army builder, I still really like the look of the Flametrooper, and I think Hasbro did a very nice job designing this version of the Trooper. Now, it has a very close reminiscence of some of the previous Flametroopers we had in the last, decades and so, but it still has a really nice look to it, even if it does look a bit plain. Before we take a look at the figure, we're going to take a look at the box as normal. The box is your typical 6-inch Black Series box. It has a picture of the Flametrooper here. On the back it shows a little bio, and it is figure number 16 of the 6-inch Black Series of the Red Series boxes. So anyways, we're going to take a look at the figure itself. Articulation is still pretty good, even if it is a bit hindering in a few areas. His head is on a ball joint, which works really well in all directions. He does have ball jointed shoulders, but it does get hindered just a bit due to the large pieces that are designed on the shoulders. He does have ball joints in the elbows, and it can also bend about 90 degrees. From what I could tell, he does not have ball hinges or any other form of articulation in the wrists, so all you're going to get is a swivel. Same thing with the other side as well, and he can actually carry the the flamethrower really well. He has a really good abdomen swivel, but that's it. You're not going to get an ab crunch or anything on the looks of it, and if it is, it's just really tight in mine. I can't really tell. But otherwise, he does have outward hip movement, which gets just hindered slightly due to this piece here, but it can get out of the way just a tad bit in order to move it out further. He does have double jointed knees, which are still standard for the 6-inch Black Series, and that's really nice. It can also swivel, I think? Yeah, it can swivel a bit, but it's really tight, as you can see. Mine, it's extremely tight on both sides. He does have ball joints in the ankles, which are really nice and tight, and it can also move forward and backwards. So you're going to get a lot of movement overall in this particular figure. Next to the other troopers we got previously in the 6-inch Black Series, we have him next to the Rajio from the Poe Dameron 2-pack. The standard First Order Stormtrooper. The other Toys R Us exclusive First Order Snowtrooper Officer. We also have Captain Phasma here, just to put them in front, just to show a little comparison how it looks like the entire army. So we're going to move our to the side so we can put in Kylo Ren. And putting them together, you get a pretty good army in the 6-inch scale for the Star Wars 6-inch figures. And I think Hasbro has done a really nice job releasing all these versions of the troopers. Sorry about the Riot Trooper, it's a bit loose now, so it is kind of in very funky positions at the moment. But I think they did a really fantastic job releasing a whole bunch of troopers. And while it was a bit obnoxious to find the standard First Order Stormtrooper when it first came out, a lot of the other troopers are a lot easier to get a hold of. And Hasbro's done a very fantastic job working better to at least work on the troopers in a more manageable distribution. Now, it's not so much for the other characters like Han, Finn from this wave as well, and also Jango Fett being the hardest one of the wave to find, but it still works pretty well that at least the troopers out of all the figures released is a lot better distributed than the other figures in the line, and that really should actually happen. It makes a lot of sense that it's actually working out really well. Hopefully we'll see more type of troopers in the future, especially since we're getting a whole bunch of them from the original trilogy. I might actually get a hold of those in order to do reviews of those as well, and I think the 6-inch line is working pretty well at releasing a whole bunch of troopers. But just the Flametrooper alone, I think it's a really fantastic design. And before we finish out the video, we're just going to take a look at the accessory that it comes with. It just has this really nice looking backpack, which is a part of the flamethrower. You can actually just plug in, and it actually plugs in 2 areas, so you can have a little bit better secure connection. Just gonna plug it back on again. It's a bit tricky to put on sometimes. Okay, there. And the flamethrower itself is really nice. It has a lot of details, even with these tiny little details on the blaster itself. And I think it looks really great. Even if it is made of that somewhat flexible material. It's not too flexible, so it's not going to have that many problems, but it can get warped if you're not careful. But it still works really well. And the only thing that I'm kind of disappointed about the figure is that it has a lack of ball-hinged wrists. And maybe in the abdomen crunch it should have been a little better, but it's understandable since he doesn't really need that, since all he's pretty much using is the flamethrower itself. But it would have been nice to actually include those points of articulation as well, since the other troopers have it up to this point. But the Flametrooper itself is still a really nice addition to the 6-inch line, and I highly recommend it for those who are picking up a lot of the arm builder type of characters in the Star Wars 6-inch line. Anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check out Hirotaku. Also, please check me out under Darkon633 on Twitter, and also check down the other channels down below. I'll be back with another Star Wars review, but for now I'll be sitting YouTube. Bye.